Welcome back to the QLZ Green Room, and we'll say local-ish Green Room for today because like a band out of Central Illinois. I know Brandon from DangerU.S, the front man, and I know I asked you. I was like, when we first played you guys with Golf Corps, I'm like, where do you want me to say you're from? You're like, dude, just say Central Illinois because you'll be saying like 4 different little towns and everything. Be confused. So, how you doing, man?
Fantastic, Ryan. How are you?
Good. Now I know you guys have a new song that's just out recently. We're gonna get it on New on Q this upcoming week. It's gonna be a heavy hitting week for locals here with New on Q. It's gonna be, I know you guys. Dysfunctional Family is on. We've got Artificial Light we're getting on this week. Nice. So everybody's got a lot of new stuff and things that are going on. Track called "Follow Me" from you guys, and you are a veteran. You've served. You told me almost 20 years now that you've been in. This is a song that's really focusing on a lot of some of the stuff that you've all dealt with. So, "Follow Me." Tell me about the track. Kind of what inspired you to kind of take this perspective and put it into a song.
Yeah. So, "Follow Me" is connected to the song title. "Follow Me" is connected to the infantry motto, based out of former Fort Benning, Georgia. So everything that I wrote here is essentially tied directly into military service. The thought process for me was, I've been in the military for almost 20 years. I've been a musician longer than that. And I never remember really writing a song focused on my service, and not just the service, but kind of diving in a little bit more and those moments before, during, and after deployment. Those are pivotal moments in a military member's career. They're tough. Whether you've been on, I've got friends who've been on 6 deployments. I've got folks that have been on 1, that have been on half deployments. And that time period, before, during, and after deployment, it's very, very difficult. So ultimately, the entire content of this song revolves around that time frame. It's pretty heavy, not in maybe the context of the riffs and the drum beat and all that stuff, just from a lyrical content perspective, pretty heavy stuff. But I think it's important to get it out there because we understand that there's some, the veterans do struggle with some things. But until you really put it into context on some of the things that happen, it just doesn't click. You just understand, yep, they've seen some things. But when we lay it out the way that I do with "Follow Me," it's not just necessarily what happens overseas. It's, what you're coming back home to. That's also a tough pill to swallow for some of us.
So like when you come back, I know when you emailed again, you said this is about deployment. It's about, life when you come back, like what were some of the things that you kind of experienced, when you come back from deployment? Obviously you're overseas somewhere that's very different than here or anywhere that you've grown up. Obviously you've seen a lot of things, and I've got some friends who are veterans that have shared their stories for what they've gone through, and I can only take in what they've told me because you don't see it yourself, and you do your best to listen and to hear what they have to say about things. So like, what were some of the things that you dealt with when you came back from deployment?
I think the first thing was just realizing that your life kind of got the pause button pushed on it for an entire year, but nobody else back home, but there was no pause button. Life continued to happen. Mm-hmm. So trying to reintegrate yourself and missing an entire year of your family's life. I've got kids, they were in high school, thought that would probably be an easier time to do something like a deployment. But those are very influential years, in the high school setting for a young man that needs his father there. So that was tough to kind of come back and be like, man, I missed an entire year. My kids' lives, obviously birthdays, graduations, and stuff like that. I'm also a business owner, and my wife is my business partner. So she shouldered the weight of our businesses that entire year, mostly by herself, right? Mm-hmm. And trying to get caught up, there's just a lot. So that was really the number one for me. Seeing what some of my fellow soldiers who deployed with me went, some of them came home and didn't have a house to come home to. Some of them, their relationships were no longer there. And there is a moment in the song where I mention your other half being pregnant for 6 months, but you were gone for 12. The math ain't mathin'. So there's a lot that really happens that we just don't think about, right? and I just wanted to bring that to the table. Loss of wages coming back, and your commission being cut in half, as a business owner, in another perspective. It's a lot of heavy stuff, and I just wanted to kind of bring it to light. And I wanted the folks that wear the uniform to know that while I don't understand your situation and I didn't live it, but I get it. And I hope that this song is that song that's almost like an anthem that says, hey, listen, yeah, we went through some stuff. It's great that it's being put out there, but I know that I can come back from it.
What were some of the things that, I don't know if settled is the right word or not, but like when you came back, kind of what helped you, what are some things that maybe helped you kind of just get back into, a normal life, daily routines, anything that kind of helps you get set back in and kind of settled back in?
Yeah, that's a great question. Obviously, you had to have that level of support back at home, whether it be your significant other, your wife, husband, whomever it may be, friends, family. You got to have that source of constant contact that's there for you. And, everybody struggles different when they come back home, but just that source of consistent contact and checking in, and then diving in and doing the things. Kind of silly that you don't think about this, but you don't make your own dinner when you're overseas, right? I mean, something that simple, you just don't do it. So staring at the stove and like, well, this isn't going to cook itself. And your wife looking at you and like, you need to relearn. Okay, got it. So just diving in and doing some of this stuff too, creating a routine. If you were a gym rat or somebody who needed a gym or an outlet like that, making sure you start that routine back up. If you're an intellectual, just making sure you're staying on top of those things and starting with the right foot forward, and not just sitting in your room for the 30 to 60 days that you get of kind of R&R, and resting, because that's not going to benefit you. You got to dive back in head first.
Yeah. Now, are there any resources like by you? Obviously, you're a little over an hour away from us here. I know you're closer to Champaign than Springfield. Are there any like resources in that area that you came back and you got involved in, or any groups or anything like that, or that kind of helped you get settled back in, or just anything available over in that area right now?
Yeah, so I think I've got a VA 30 minutes west and about 45 minutes east of me. So those, I know they kind of get a lot of grief, but those are good outlets of opportunities to kind of reintegrate yourself if you need some assistance. My local VFW and American Legion, I've lost track of time, and that happens too. Like I can't remember sometimes, but we have a veterans happy hour at our restaurant. We own a place called Three Ravens in Monticello, and I believe that started before I left. I think it did. So reintegrating myself into that and being able to sit with some of the guys that range from the age of, sorry, Bob, if you're not 80, but 80 to young men that are in their early 20s that are and being able to just vibe with that crew is fantastic. So that definitely helped.
Like, how important is it? You mentioned it's veterans of all different eras that are there and you're talking to, and different experiences, anything, from Vietnam to the storm, to, stuff that I'm 38, my entire time in high school, we were high school, college, more adulthood, we're at least for, 20 years for how long that goes. And there's a lot of veterans during that time, a lot of active duty members that time. How important is it just to be able to sit down with other veterans, regardless of the era, and just chat with them, just have conversations?
It's very important. It's unique because of the experiences throughout the decades. They're all different, right? We are in a technological age. Mm-hmm. So part of the follow me is we get to watch life unfold back home while we're gone. So we can see essentially every birthday, every event that we're missing, we're going to see it on social media or live on if we're waking up at 2 a.m. over there to check in and enjoy that event or that holiday with them. The fellas, that are older, they were just completely, blacked out, mm-hmm. right? So they left. They didn't know what they were coming home to, had no idea. So shared experiences, talking about that difference, it's instrumental. Again, kind of the reintegration piece. It's super important.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you want to do? I know obviously you've been a musician for a long time. Everything been doing musicianship for over 20 years. Do you think you're gonna? And obviously you want to write about a bunch of different things. Do you think you're gonna want to do more music? Talking about some of these experiences, just overall, is it something that you're like, maybe we'll tackle this a little bit more in future songs?
I do, because I think there's a void there. There are tons of songs out there for the soldier, but rarely any that reach the mainstream level that are by a soldier. And I would love to be able to be that voice and say, hey, yeah, again, I'm probably not going to understand what you're going through, but I get it. And being, anytime I listen to a song that can hit you in the feels, I don't have to understand that artist, but I can feel what they're going through, so I can make that connection. And ultimately, that's what I'd love to do. So you have bands like, maybe Five Finger Death Punch. Eventually, we'll see this down the road and be like, you know what? Those guys have lived it. We are pro-military. We write songs about it all the time. Let's bring those guys out. So Five Finger Death Punch, if you ever happen to see this,
there you go.
Bring us out.
What were the bands that got you through things on deployment, or really any time during your career? Were those bands you gravitated to?
Yeah, so it varies. I think I'm pretty hard on to Beartooth right now. Caleb Shomo is a great songwriter. Bill Murray, crazy enough, Bilmuri, not the Bill Murray, the actor, but Bill Murray, great band. Been following them for a while. They were both in the same band, Attack years ago, which is kind of interesting, with Austin Carlisle from Of Mice and Men. But yeah, those bands, Killswitch Engage. I am a country fan. This is actually, it looks like a death metal shirt, but it's a Hardy shirt. Okay. That guy's kind of a genre bender, so I dug some Hardy. Tyler Childers, Ryan Bingham. I really span a lot of different styles and genres, and I think it helps me as a songwriter to be able to open up my mind and not just focus solely on this style of music. Be like, you know what? There's a cool melody that this guy did in this Americana or outlaw country song. Maybe I could incorporate that. So, yep, to try to answer your question, those were some of the bands that I really kind of leaned on and listened to overseas. And then I'd also bring some of that influence into my own songwriting.
Awesome. I know I told you, obviously we're going to talk about DangerU.S as well. It's your band. And, actually before we got going, do you mind really diving into the veteran stuff? That way, how comfortable are you with it? Because I think it's a good conversation to have. And, we have like Land of Lincoln Honor Flight that comes in and talks to us, on some things. You get a little bit of the veteran perspective for what those guys kind of went through and whatnot. So rock and veterans have always gone together very, very well. But what's going on in the DangerU.S camp? Obviously, follow me. You guys had Golf Corps, which came out, and I know you saw when we were out at the golf event that we had a couple months ago.
Yeah.
There, I saw your comment on there. I was like, oh, this is absolutely perfect. So what's going on in your guys' camp? Music moving forward here. What do you guys want to do?
Yeah. So we released, we called it #GolfCorps because everybody, leans into the hashtag business nowadays. So our 5-song EP was titled #GolfCorps, and being in a passive aggressive petty manner, we titled it that because sometimes in our style and our genre, you got those guys that either say or do, I only listen to real metal. So we play and we have some heavy stuff and we like some melody. So we kind of coined the Golf Corps, #GolfCorps is core with etiquette, blend of musical energy, shenanigans, and unshakable camaraderie. So we released that 5-song EP. It's gone really well. And we decided, let's start releasing singles now. And then, like we discussed, I hadn't ever written a song solely focused on military service, and now was the time. So we've released Follow Me. The reception has been fantastic. I can't say enough about it. I really can't wait, and I hope that it kind of catches a little bit of a flame and gets out there so my brothers and sisters understand, again, that there is a voice out there for them. And then we're also working, we got some shows, got a show October 24th at the Canopy Club over here in Champaign-Urbana. And then we've got a show October 31st down in Charleston. So some shows, still writing music, still recording. We're going to be releasing another single probably in the next couple of months, just staying busy.
Awesome. It's kind of the way you got to do things. And Brandon, you get the same question that every national act gets when they come on, especially when you come on for the first time, your favorite no skips, favorite complete albums, like from start to finish, some of the favorite albums that you like, you listen to them from start to end and you don't skip any songs on.
Yeah, I'm going to lean right back on Bill Murray, American Motorsports. That album, I think he kind of coins himself country core. So there's some country vibe. There's obviously heavy element. He's very melodic. They've got a saxophone player in the band, Gabby. It's fantastic. So I would say right now, and it changes day to day, but Bill Murray, American Motorsports.
Awesome. Again, man, Follow Me is the track. We're going to get it on. Like I said, you guys, as Functional Family, Artificial Light, going to be hitting the local and central Illinois scene pretty hard here on New on Q this upcoming Saturday night, 8 until 10. 92.7 WQLZ.com. You can stream everything. And Brandon, before we go, how long have you served for? I know that's what I want to ask you. What branch were you in and how long you served for?
Yeah, so I've been in the Army National Guard, Illinois, for almost 19 and a half years, but 13 of that was active service. I spent a lot of time on active duty over at Camp Lincoln, so right around your neck of the woods. And I've enjoyed my service. I'll never say a bad thing about it. I feel good about it. Yeah, that's it.
Awesome. And where can everybody follow you guys? I know DangerU.S is spelled a little bit differently, so hit us up, socials, website, all that stuff as well.
Thanks. So Facebook.com/WeAreDangerous without the O, DangerU.S. Our website, WeAreDangerous.com. Those are probably our two. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, man, we'll get you guys on New on Q this Saturday night. And Brandon, thanks for your time, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Ryan. Thanks for QLZ for always being supportive.